Well, I was so excited. Well, actually, it came yesterday, but I didn't have time to open it. I had been on looking I look at everybody's merchandise and things when I go and watch you guys, and I'm always trying to pick out something for myself because I just love doing that, and maybe something to share every once in a while. But I was watching Hatman, and I saw in his stuff the cutest little bears. But I want to show him something that I want y'all to look at how these poor little babies are all up in here. Now look at that. Look at that. They're butt up, head down, just all over each other in there. They had a rough ride. I could see that already. So I'm going to have to get them out and put them with the other bears. I have to be picky nowadays because at one time, that is so cute. At one time I had too many, and you know, it just wasn't a good idea because I had too many. And they took over, and, you know, I don't know what it is about bears, but I do love them. I think it started with Pooh Bear, but Winnie the Pooh kind of stole my heart a long time ago. And then we had taken after I'd married my husband, he wanted to give, you know, my kids a special day. You know, it was really a special day for him because it had been them and I for a long time, and you know, he wanted to do something that they hadn't ever got to do. And you know, and that was something that growing up I loved, the fact that I could go to Disney all the time, and it was like $20, you know, when they first opened. And it was just it's a wonderful memory for me, and I'm hoping one day I can take my new grandchildren and let them experience that magical feeling that you get there. But he took us there, and you know, to see him so happy and so excited, it was a day I'll never forget. And as we were getting ready to leave, you know, after the fireworks and everything, we were about to go out of the park. He asked me to wait a minute, and he went back and he come back out, and he had bought me a Winnie the Pooh. And I'm telling you, it made me cry because it's just, I don't know what it is. I think it's just the way, you know, growing up without things, you kind of have this idea of something that you've always wanted. And Pooh Bear was one of mine. But I always loved bears. But I brought that bear home and set him up there with the rest of them. And one day I got up to get ready for work, and Pooh was missing. And, you know, I didn't know what happened to Pooh because everybody knows don't touch my bears. Well, that afternoon when I got off of work, I walked out of the building, and he was out there, and he put Pooh in the passenger seat of a new Camaro that he bought for me, and it was just really sweet. You know, he really, you know, for me, I had a big old shield around my heart, and I sure wasn't gonna give it up very easy, and he just kept chipping away and just kept standing by me no matter what. You know, it's like I couldn't seem to get rid of him. You know, he just loved me for all my craziness, and I'm surely grateful he did, even though he gets on my nerves. And if y'all tell him I said anything nice, well, Lord help you, because I'm gonna be upset, because he can't know all that. We don't tell him them kind of things. I'll leave him a note when he sometimes, but I can't tell him that. But maybe every 20 years, you know. And he's about due for one nice compliment, but not today. But you know, I wanted to tell you something too. You know, when let me get his little thing on there, and they're cute. I got a Pastor Royce shirt too, so don't worry. I'm making my rounds to each one. I love looking at your things, and I want to support you in any way I can. And sometimes it's just easier when you see a bear. So keep that in mind. You know, I wanted to go and share this too with you. You know, the other day, I felt this need, an urgent need, to just get some of her story out there, my mother, and to preserve something. I don't know why, but I just felt this sense of urgency. And I don't know if y'all have ever had that feeling. I'm sure you have. You know, if you put it off, you're usually going to regret it. You know, and when I got down to that last one, you know, it just really hit me hard. It was like such an emotional outburst for me that I felt like I felt like I had completed my promise. You know, I'd promised her I wouldn't leave her, and I meant it. And I went down there, you know, to do what I could do and stay with her. And the day of the funeral, I was determined to make it all the way home on my own accord because, you know, it was I had to fulfill my promise. But it was always like I was missing something. And I know now what that was. And, you know, that was a kind of a completion for me. It allowed me to let go of a lot of things. And you know, if timing is everything. Timing is everything. Because, you know, I've been trying to say something for a long time now. And I'll be honest with you, I never once thought about starting a channel because I figured I would just get hustled on out of here quicker than I could get in. And I'm so slow at trying to, you know, my fingers don't work like they used to. So it's hard to get it to type anything out. You know, I'm slow. By the time I get a word out, you guys have done moved on, you know, 2 or 3 days ahead of me. So it's just awful for me. You know, talking is easier. But I just, you know, I think about that and I think about, you know, in my heart, I'm not old. And when I get out there working, I'm not lazy. And I work hard. I'll work all day and sometimes up in, you know, late. But, you know, the truth is, you know, your body does kind of give out on you. And you forget things. And there's just some things I cannot forget. I don't want to forget. But I was going to share one more thing with Jim. And this is a little, you know, I told you about my grandfather and them being sharecroppers. Well, you know, for some reason, out of pictures I have of my mother, I don't know, this one just kind of touches me. You know, it always has. It's just something about it that just gets to me. I think the man behind her was the guy that owned the land. You know, it looked like he was, I don't know, I don't know what I'm pretty sure I was told why he was behind her like that, but, you know, I don't want to repeat it until I know for sure that's exactly what I was told, because, you know, I don't want to be wrong on it, because it's important. But I just love that picture. I just think it says a lot, you know. It just shows her, and I don't know. And I know that wasn't too long before she got away. So I wanted to share that with you. And again, I wanted to thank y'all for making me feel so welcome. And I wanted you also to know I had no intentions of running away or going away forever. I was just, you know, it was a very emotionally day for me. And it was, I had to back off a minute just to get myself in order because, you know, I did make a promise that any names that came out, I was going to give them to the proper people and I was going to release myself from it. And I did that. But, you know, I wanted to make sure that, you know, moving forward, that I'm very focused because now that it's not in my control anymore, except what I do, I don't want to mess anything up for any of them. And, you know, I didn't think much about it until after, but I know there's plenty of backed up, you know, videos that, you know, if they need them, I'll see. I told them, if you need them, let me know, and I will get you to the person that did them, and I'm sure they'll help you with getting whatever you need. Because that's, you know, that's another thing. The support is wonderful. And honestly, you know, it's just a struggle for me when someone calls them cyber bullies or bullies, you know it, because, you know, I don't see that at all. I see just a whole bunch of kind hearts, and I'm not kidding. You know, I study people. I look at the words, and I listen to the words, and I watch them, and it always clicks in me somewhere. Either they're good, or I don't want to see them no more, or what, you know, something will click at me. And I'm gonna tell you something. The day I seen Daywave, uh, Royce was, you know, I could just see his heart, and it was pretty immediate. Now, JJ, he took me a little longer to get, because that one plays the cards close to the chest right there. You know, it took me a while to kind of get a pinpoint on what kind of man I thought he was, and it just I'm going by me. But, you know, I started seeing it, you know, not too long ago, and I realized that he's a quiet warrior. You know, he's just quiet. So when he does kind of ease up, and you know, but one thing I'll say, I truly believe this. Now, this is strictly my opinion. I hope I hope he's not a bad guy, and I know he isn't. I can feel it. But he just seems to me like the kind that easy until pushed and quiet, and you don't know he's in the corner until he comes out swinging. But I do believe, honestly, if he was with you and there was trouble, you know, he's got you. He's gonna do what he's got to do, and I admire that because that's something I truly believe. You know that, you know, you can't be selfish with anything and everything. You know, it's like it's almost like, are you willing to lay it down for someone else? You know, maybe you don't want to, and Lord, you're gonna fight like the dickens not to. But if push come to shove, who do you want around you? And that, you know, is what I mean, I just felt that about him. Now, and Adonis Paul, Lord, you know, he was just so funny. He reminded me too much of my sons. So it was like touching, you know, automatically. I was just kind of feeling nostalgic with him. And then one day I heard him say something about his daughter. And it was the way he said it. It just, it just made my heart feel so happy because I could just feel the love he had. And to me, anybody that can love a child and say it like that, the way he did, in a totally different tone, that tells me everything. And then Hatman, same thing. I had asked about Harley, and I asked him if he would do something for me. And you know, it took him a second to speak, but then when he did, his face was just. I looked at that face, and I thought, he 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 has got he's got a lot of love for her. And then I think it was a day or so later, he was talking about his child, and I thought, Lord, he ain't no devil. He's a good guy. That's a good man. He's one of those people that when he loves deep, and when he gives it all. And you know, I couldn't help but see something in him that just kind of, you know, he felt comfortable. Like these are all like my boys, you know. Virgy, same thing. He, you know, I adore him, you know, and I love when he got excited about looking at you know, really legit legal reports, and and him and AP got down and just went through it, and I thought, man, he'd make an excellent, you know, kind of guy to report on these kind of things because they were just in it. With the help of Dark Star, they just tore it up. That's another one, you know. Now that one, he just caught me right off at the beginning. It was like, I don't know what he said to me, and just a sentence, and it just warmed up my heart and just softened so quickly I couldn't stand it. S Same thing with Jeffy So Mad Vader. I mean, that one too. He got he got my heart too. And jogging, Lord, I don't know what he's saying that now. Jogging while pooping, jogging, and now it's something I don't know, but he knows who he is. He's another one that surprised me. You know, I hadn't really got to talk to him too much until one night. You know, I don't know what I'm doing, so I didn't accidentally, I just wanted to see what would happen. I hit the button. And I hit a button, and they were talking. I was in there with them anyway. But we spent a long time just sitting there talking, and it was just fun. It was so much fun. And I enjoyed it so much. And it's like being with my boys and just having a good night. You know, so I feel a little protective over all these people. And Harley, you know, she's like the only girl. Well, no, I got another girl. But, you know, it's like I'm just feeling so protective over them. And I can't help it. And I won't apologize for it. You know, they just remind me too much of my own. They can be bad boys. But at the end of the day, they my boys and they good boys. So they not nothing like, they're they're just good old guys out there having fun, making money, taking care of their families, paying their bills, and doing what they're supposed to be doing. That's what they're doing, and that's what they are. And I've seen them all get, you know, stop when they needed to stop and push when they need to push. So um, they're just my boys, and I'm grateful for them.